positivity, motivation. Never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. And I just want to share with you about race and about how stupid it is and how that construct has kept us in this fictional divide when in all actuality, whoever came up with that ideology created it as a means of control. I had a Mexican Celly in prison for roughly 4.5, almost 5 years. And as far as race was concerned, it wasn't really even anything I considered, but the people around us looked at it and would at times, make it an issue. And it wasn't the other Mexicans, it was the blacks. The blacks were tripping because I had a Mexican Celly, but yet these weren't blacks that I cared to be Cellys with. We had nothing in common. We didn't share the same values. And because I was into the law and studying in the law library, they looked at me as a square. I wasn't gung-ho over any of the basketball games or football games. I wasn't watching BET videos. I wasn't hanging out on the yard. So I was in a whole nother space. And that pissed off a lot of people, but primarily people that were considered the same nationality as me. And for what reason? Because they didn't want me to be able to do my own thing. And it was ignorant. Now, the other Mexican guys that I hung out with and the ones I didn't really hang out with, when they seen that this dynamic existed, it opened up a conversation and broke down barriers that might have been in place for other people. But when they seen that I was open-minded, they were open-minded. So you see how that works? It just changed everything on how other people approach me while in prison. It's no different than being on the street and you associate with just any and everybody, and it's not, regulated to just somebody with a particular skin color. That's so stupid, man, to me. And I didn't grow up like that. Some people were taught to hate or dislike a certain group of people. And yeah, they put a lot of that bullshit in history books to keep us feeling inferior and to give other people superiority complexes and this and that. But I never bought into it. See, that's the difference with me, is I never bought into what these people tried to stuff down my throat as far as information. You ain't stuffing shit down my throat as far as information unless I want to actually taste it and it tastes like something I want to indulge in. If I don't like the taste of it, I'm going to do my own research. I'm not going to buy it. That's the difference. A lot of people just let them stuff all kind of shit down their mouth and they just eat it up like it's nutrients and a straight caca. I worked out with some white boys in prison, big swole white cats from the Bay. We were good, and a lot of brothers didn't like that either. But a lot of brothers that were on the same page were like, Big Herc, I like you because you do your own thing. You don't let anybody dictate to you how you get down. And by doing that, I got a lot of gain by other people and other cultures that normally wouldn't have been shared if I would have been on a certain type of wavelength. And like I said, it goes back to the streets. A lot of these philosophies, as far as socializing, interacting, you learn a lot when you get outside the box. And for a lot of you who are in a comfort zone, you need to get used to being uncomfortable so that you can change up and learn some things And that's how you grow. And you'll realize it's not about skin color, it's not about race, it's about values, knowledge, and sharing information and growing. That's what it's about. And you know, I used to have some conversations, and me and the white guy be working out, and I see brothers, you know, because in particular, especially on leg day, none of the brothers want to do legs, and we used to do a certain leg routine, and you know, dudes would be like, oh man, I ain't doing that, that's some weird shit, that's this and that. I'm like, man, it's a damn exercise. We don't have no weights. We got to make do with what we have. So we would do certain exercises, do like body resistance and stuff, and get our workouts in, and you know, chop it up, man, and talk about things that we could do possibly together when we got out of prison. And you know, a lot of those dudes that I actually worked out with, I still keep in touch with, and even my Mexican Celly, you know, that was my Celly at the time, that's very successful now, me and him still chop it up. And, you know, I considered that time in there as an opportunity for me to learn about myself and for me to grow as a spiritual person, so that when I got out, having went through that experience, I could share it with other people and show that the world is so much bigger, even in that small confinement where racism is taught and endorsed. Had an Asian partner I used to kick with real tough. Brother Wang, you know, I still keep in touch with. Good dude. My other homie, Big Rube. He was German and Mexican. You know, still keep in touch with. All these people I still manage to have relationships with as far as friendships, and these are people that I picked and chose when I was in prison. And it wasn't based on race, it was based on ideology, their belief systems, and their values. And you can learn a lot, like I said, by finding people who are operating on the same vibration that you're operating on. So whatever they're pushing in the news, you know, I go totally the opposite way. When I hear certain agendas, I go the total opposite way, because there's something behind it. And I just wasn't brought up like that. I had Filipino friends, Hawaiian friends, Mexican friends, white friends, you know, Laos friends, Vietnamese friends growing up. I wasn't that type of guy, man. And, you know, in prison, they really emphasize that, like, oh, why you talking to him? What you doing over there? You know, the homie seen you talking to so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm like, what are the watching me? Who? My homies who? You know, and the thing about prison, they always say, oh, you're people, because everything's based on race. And see, that same philosophy they try to push out here, your people, and it's not. Some of these people, just because they look like you, aren't your people. Them people will take you down. They don't want to grow. They're not trying to educate themselves. I'm not saying everybody that looks like you, but I'm saying there are certain individuals within a group that are bad apples, and you ever seen a bad apple, a rotten apple? You can't eat around the rottenness. You got to throw it away. And that's just the way it is. But there's rotten apples in every race, if you want to call it race. If you guys who define different skin tones and nationalities as race or whatever you want to define it, but there's rotten apples everywhere. At the end of the day, you got to find people who are good people, you know, share information and knowledge with these people and grow. But you have to see beyond this right here. This is the bullshit. This is the bullshit they want us to be stuck on. You know, it's disgusting, man. And the institutions, they knowingly advocate that behavior, because for prison it's a way to control. How else are you going to control 4,000 or 5,000 inmates with 400 guards, 500 guards? You got to have a division. And it's the same way out here, man. And I don't buy into it. And moving to Arizona, people told me, oh man, you better watch out, man, blah, blah, blah. Arizona was the last state to endorse MLK Day and this and that. Man, I don't give a damn about, that bullshit, man, endorsing this, endorsing that, giving us a token. Look, I want to get out here and I met some good people. Damn, I met some good people. And at the end of the day, that's what counts, is that people are willing to look out for each other. They have a sense of community. They're not with just open criminality. People want nice communities. That's what I'm about, and that's what I found moving out to Arizona. And California, yeah, you look at like, oh, it's a melting pot, but California is also the breeding grounds for the most racism in the country. California, there's no more probably racist place than California state prisons. It's the spawning ground for the most racist gangs in America. Do your research. Now imagine that, the most racist gangs and institutions created in the California prison system, but yet California pushes all this, we are the world agenda type bullshit. It's ass backwards, man. And, if you buy into it, then hey, you drink the Kool-Aid, but I don't buy into it. And whether it's, on the streets, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the educational system, there's people within all those institutions that are pieces of shit. And it doesn't mean that you have to, buy into whatever they're selling. But at the same time, there are good people within all those different institutions and agencies that are of good moral standing and that are trying to do the right thing. I mean, I did a lot of the wrong things to get to the right thing, so I'm not here to try to judge other people, because I've made a lot of mistakes and people have given me the benefit of the doubt. So when it comes to entertaining other nationalities and people, I give them the benefit of the doubt too until they show me otherwise. Because like I said, there's no different than, this guy, yeah, there might be a stigma that this person, he's a con man, or he's a racist, this and that, but until I actually engage that person personally, then I'm not going to sit here and say, oh man, everybody looks like that, they're the same. Yeah, I've ran across some pieces of shit over there. I ran across some pieces of shit over there. Like I said, you got to pick and choose and be a good judge of character. But yeah, the racism shit, man, it's disgusting. It wasn't how I was raised. And even my grandfather, who grew up in the South, who experienced racism, not like these kids now. Oh man, they're racist at college campus. Oh, I'm here and we're being discriminated against. You're here on a college campus. You got all this opportunity. You want to be some goddamn revolutionary, complaining about the white man holding you down, this and that. Ain't nobody holding you down. Quit your crying, man. You inexperienced. You want to create these fantasy experiences, blaming everybody, and yet you have all the opportunity in the world. Who's holding you down? I'm so sick of that. Oh yeah, they're keeping us down and this and that. Man, shut that shit up, man. These days, you don't have to show your face and you can make $1 million. There's people doing it. But when you try to, make yourself a victim, everybody wants to be a victim. Oh, talk about somebody else. Well, they're victims because of this. You don't even know those people. Go over there to that neighborhood and try to sell that shit you're selling and see if those people don't mug your ass before you get up out of there. Then you can see why certain people are in the position they're in, because they just don't give a damn. And if you come into their world and they see that you're soft, you're going to be a victim. Plain and simple. Doesn't matter what race you are. You could be black, white, green, yellow, purple. If somebody sees somebody that's a sucker and you go into the wrong area with a bunch of hyenas, they're going to get you, man. And it ain't even about race. It's about opportunity for them. So, BigHerc916. We'll grab you some soap for the holidays. BigHerc916.com. Wash your ass. Do the right thing. Don't walk around stinking 2 and 3 days without showering. And yeah, man, share the channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about race. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, man, you talking about that shit, man. You act like you ain't down. Look, man, most likely me and you wouldn't get down anyway. If you don't like what I got to say, it wouldn't be like we'd be getting down anyways. So you don't have to like what I say because we would have nothing in common. Now, if you're like, hey, Big Herc is somebody I would mess with. That dude, he's solid, blah blah blah. And then yeah, we would vibe. We would do some things together. Enjoy some good times, and that's what it'd be about. But somebody who's like doesn't like what I have to say and wants to perpetuate racism, me and you wouldn't be hanging out anyway. So I wouldn't give a damn what you say in the comment section. Some of y'all say some real stupid shit, keyboard warriors. Want to talk shit behind the screen, and then you're not putting out a channel to put anything out into the world to create a better understanding for human interaction, but you want to talk shit, which is great because talking shit in the comments, it creates other comments and people talk shit back to you. But I know behind closed doors you're a piece of shit. Probably smell like caca, ain't washed your ass. Your armpits are nasty, smell like old onions. You probably got a hella nasty feet. Your house probably smells like old ass Dorito chips, and you probably living off some female or living off your parents and ain't got your shit together and that never busted a grape. You one of them type of individuals that you see something, you talk shit, and then if you get slapped up in the face, you want to go and try to shoot something up because you're a guy, you're a really emotional individual. So hey, hope you like that. Big Herc.
Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500,000,000 views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds.